People are going to be offended that I asked this, but I can't control myself. So like, what about the president on whose behalf they were gathered that day? Like, has anybody sent them money? I mean, has anybody really raised the people around him? Brad Parscale, all these people are getting rich, right?
Right.
Complaining that the last election was rigged, which it clearly was,
right.
Obviously.
Yes.
And they're making all this money, and all these people are sending all this money down to Florida. But is any of that money going to defend these people who went to this rally on behalf of that candidate?
So he wants to know. He wants to know, did Donald Trump step in? These people have gone out of their way to overturn this obviously rigged election. Now, as we know, the election was not rigged. There were multiple recounts. There has been no indication, no evidence whatsoever of widespread voter fraud. But of course, Tucker Carlson is just going to regurgitate and repeat that nonsense lie. And so he's talking to right-wing columnist Julie Kelly, by the way, and she's about to answer his question. Before she does, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, so Anna emphasized that it's on his online show, and actually there's a reason why that makes a difference. And I hate to say this, but I say it almost every time because I need you to understand that it's purposeful in Tucker's case. Tucker is a smart guy. So when Louis Gohmert says something, he's a moron. He might not intend it, he just might actually believe it, right? Tucker doesn't believe any of this stuff. Does he think that this election was rigged? Not 1%. He's just doing that to goose up his base, right? So the reason it's relevant that it's on his online show in this case is he's testing it out. He's dipping his toe in. If he did it on Fox News, where 3 million people would see it, he can get big blowback. He wants to do it on the online show and see, how do people react? Okay, he's A/B testing it in a sense. And then he does all these clever things. He says Trump, he says Florida, but then he then says Brad Parscale got rich and a lot of people got rich. And then he deflects, like, I'm not doing a full attack on Trump. I'm just dipping my toe in to see how receptive you are because I like to be the new boss, right? And then if you notice, he said, I know people are gonna be upset, but I can't control myself. No, he planned the whole thing, including saying, I can't control myself, as if he's the honest truth teller who just, he didn't want to, but he had to tell you the truth, he's better than Trump.
Because he's really concerned about the well-being of the rioters, that's why, right? He's really looking out for them.
And he hangs out with those guys all the time. Oh no, he doesn't. He's an elitist, and I would never hang out with those people under penalty of law.
Lindsey Graham of South Carolina is always running around telling you he's gonna have another hearing into this. Conservatism, I'm conservative. Well, we just learned from this very long Washington Post rebuttal to our documentary series that on January 6th, Lindsey Graham was running around the Capitol ordering the Capitol Police to murder the protesters. Quote, you've got guns, use them. We give you guns for a reason, shrieked Lindsey Graham. Shoot American citizens for the crime of trespassing. Really? This is the conservative position? Unarmed protesters show up? Look, they shouldn't have been there. We've never defended that and never would. But kill them? What the hell's wrong with you, Lindsey Graham? How long before you're ordering drone attacks on people whose politics you don't like? What a revealing moment this is.
Oh, the chickens have come home to roost. So Senator Lindsey Graham has made his bed. He's now sleeping in it. He made a deal with the devil, right? He wanted to remain relevant, as he told reporters at the New York Times when he did a complete 180 and decided to be a complete Trump loyalist during the Trump administration. And now he's obviously being attacked by Tucker Carlson because while the Capitol was being attacked by Trump supporters who were threatening to hang Mike Pence and carry out violence, he was scared and called for Capitol Police to open fire. Now, what I also find interesting about that rant, Cenk, is that Tucker Carlson has a very different take on these guys, these right-wingers who breached the Capitol. He referred to them as American citizens. Oh, Lindsey Graham is calling for American citizens to be gunned down for trespassing. But I've heard Tucker Carlson in the past advocate for cops gunning down unarmed Black Americans for far less, for simply running away because they were afraid of the cops. And then they get shot in the back and killed, but that's okay. Because they're not considered Americans in Tucker Carlson's book, but anyway.
Yeah, so there's tons of hypocrisy in what Tucker Carlson says. So number one, if you shoot any unarmed black person, there's always an excuse. Oh, loose cigarettes and counterfeit $20 bills, and they had detention when they were younger, and they once smoked pot, and so hey, they didn't listen to police orders. Remember, that's the number one excuse they use for shooting black people. They didn't listen to police orders. Here, the police told them many times to not break into the building. They assaulted the cops. One of them died, at least one. And then they stormed the building, and the cops told them again and again and again and again as the cops let them assault them, which never happens in America. Okay, but they're white right-wingers, so the cops let themselves get their ass kicked, right? And even that wasn't enough for Tucker. And no, they're just average American citizens, they're not. And then they chanted, hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence. That's the Republican vice president. But they were just trespassing. And they were talking about murdering Nancy Pelosi, murdering the vice president, just trespassing, good American citizens. On the other hand, Trayvon Martin once went to detention in high school. So that's who Tucker Carlson is.
Yeah.
But then the second hypocrisy is, this is the same Tucker Carlson pretending that it was a deep state false flag operation. That was the point of his documentary.
What happened?
Wait, so Tucker, are they secret FBI agents, or are they just innocent American citizens? If they were deep state FBI agents, as you claim, then wouldn't Lindsey Graham be right to have them be shot? Which one is it?